Hey everyone, welcome to Movies Capped channel, and today I am going to explain and kind of review the crime thriller movie The Loft, which was released back then in 2014. Sorry for bad quality of video as I edit my videos on mobile. So let's begin. The film centers around 5 friends. Vincent Stevens, architect and designer. Married to Barbara and has children. He designed the loft. Dr. Chris Van Owen, a psychiatrist married to Allison, half-brother to Philip. Chris and Philip have a half-sister, Zoe. Luke Secord, married to Ellie, who is an insulin-dependent diabetic. Marty Landry, married to Mimi, a heavy drinker and an obvious lecturer. Philip Williams, half-brother to Chris as they have the same mother, recently married to Vicky, very protective of his younger sister Zoe, and warns the other men off having sex with her. Assuming that they all desperately want to cheat on their wives but are leery of doing for fear of getting caught. Vincent hits upon the perfect solution. The 5 of them will quietly purchase a spacious loft apartment in a new building that he has designed and use it for their assignations. For a while, all goes well, and even the initially denying Chris joins in the fun as well once he meets the sexy Anne, the sister of a former patient who committed suicide. However, it is all fun and games until someone dies a horrible death, and indeed, one morning, Luke arrives to discover the corpse of a strange blonde handcuffed to the bed with her wrist slashed. After the others arrive, it becomes apparent that since there are only 5 keys to the loft, one of them has to have been at least somewhat involved in the girl's death. The murder victim is Sarah Deakins. Vincent, Luke, and Marty met her at a bar. Both Vincent and Luke are attracted to her, but she hooks up with Vincent and becomes attached to him. At a party they are both attending, Sarah threatened to tell Vincent's wife about the affair as a way to have them break up, but she is dissuaded from this by Luke. She seemingly tries to commit suicide at the loft by taking pills with champagne. She is discovered by Luke, who calls Chris, Marty and Philip, showing them a note to Vincent. The note read, "See you in the next life." This note is taken from the loft by Chris. The men were motivated to set Vincent up by Luke, who showed them DVDs of Vincent having sex with Marty's wife, Mimi, Chris's prostitute, Anne, and Zoe, Philip and Chris's younger sister. 3 of the men leave to set up their alibis, with Philip remaining at the loft to stage the scene. He takes some cocaine and cuts Sarah's wrists, using her bloodied finger to write a Latin phrase similar to that in her suicide note. He then handcuffs Sarah's right hand to the bed. Over the course of the movie, as the 5 men discuss what to do with the body, Luke, Chris, Marty, and Philip drug Vincent, strip and handcuff him to the body on the bed. Before Vincent passes out completely, Chris tells him about Sarah's suicide and the contents of her note. While being questioned by the police, Vincent tells them of the setup, but they do not believe him as the only prints found were Vincent's and Sarah's. They also have the DVDs of his sexual exploits, except the ones with Mimi, Anne, and Zoe. They won't believe him that Luke made the videos and the DVDs of the other men were not found. The police also mention that all 4 men have alibis for that morning. Chris and Luke were seen together having breakfast. Marty was at his office. Philip has an alibi from his father-in-law, who was blackmailed with information about his own cheating. Information Philip had because he knew Vincent used that same information to blackmail his father-in-law to be awarded a contract on a project. Releasing Chris from interrogation, Detective Huggins tells him that Vincent has been arrested for murder. He is surprised as he thought Vincent would only be implicated in Sarah's suicide. The detective further states that the pills did not kill Sarah, that her wrist cuts were not self-inflicted, the prints on the knife were Vincent's, and they didn't find a suicide note. The surprised Chris thanks Huggins and leaves. Outside the police station, he reaches into his jacket pocket, only to find that the suicide note Luke gave to him is gone. He then walks to the loft and confronts Luke about the missing note. After initially denying that he had it, Luke leads Chris to the note, which was in the garbage. Chris looks at the note and wonders why Luke would get rid of the only evidence of the attempted suicide, speculating that Luke, not Sarah, was the author of the note. Luke then tells Chris everything. He framed Vincent, because he was attracted to Sarah himself, and felt that Vincent stood between him and Sarah. We see that Luke had gone after Sarah the night she almost told Vincent's wife about the affair. He told her that Vincent was using her and not worth it, and that he could treat her better. She rebuffs him, saying she felt nothing for Luke. Hurt, Luke turns around to find that his wife saw him talking to Sarah. When Sarah returned to visit Vincent at the loft, Luke showed up and drugged Sarah, trying to kill her out of love, with an insulin overdose. He then staged the suicide with the pills, champagne bottle, and suicide note. Chris then tells him that Vincent is being charged with murder as Sarah hadn't been dead when they left her with Philip. Luke then states that technically it was Philip who killed Sarah and that he will clean the situation up. When Chris says no more cleaning up, Luke pulls out a kitchen knife and threatens him. Sirens can be heard and Chris says he called the police, told them everything and that it is over. He and Luke struggle, and he gets the knife from Luke. Luke tells Chris to tell Ellie and his family that he's sorry. He then jumps from the loft's balcony, killing himself. 6 months later, Mimi and Marty are reconciled, Philip is facing trial for manslaughter, and Chris is divorced, sharing custody of his children. He runs into Anne after leaving a bar, and she asks if he needs the loft key that he had given her for them to meet up. Chris mentions the key would not work as Vincent now lives at the loft, since it was all his wife left him with from their divorce. Chris mentions that he heard Anne left the city councilman, one of her clients is a prostitute, and she replies that he was not the only thing she gave up, implying that she's no longer in that line of work. Anne asks Chris if he would like to grab a cup of coffee with her as the scene fades away. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Until see you in the next one. Peace.